Welcome to Global Media Stocks to Watch. I'm Michael Swito. Drug testing. It's a routine but uncomfortable reality in many companies. But what if it didn't have to be that way? Well, a NASDAQ-listed company called Intelligent Biosolutions has replaced the cups and swabs with something a little simpler, a fingerprint. Join me now to walk us through this technology and their business are the company's CEO and CFO, Harry Simeonidis and Spiro Sakiris. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having us.
I have to say, you're involved in a really interesting sector. Harry, walk us through it. Tell us a bit more about these fingerprint drug tests.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael, you actually brought it up very correctly. A lot of companies today do drug screening for their employees before they start their work, their shift on a day-to-day basis. But currently, a lot of companies, they use a urine test, which is very invasive and very hard to collect a urine sample, or they would use a blood test or maybe even a saliva test. What we have, which is very, very unique, is a non-invasive way to collect the sample. And it's off the tips of your fingertips. And we can do this within 10 minutes. We can collect the sample and have a drug screening result to see if the individual is on methamphetamines, marijuana, cocaine, and opiates, which is just some of the drugs that we do test. And that will clear the individual so they can start their shift. It is very easy, very simple to use, and it can be done anywhere because both our cartridges and our devices are mobile. So you don't have to go to a clinic or a certain area to do your testing.
Oh, wow. Okay. And in just 10 minutes. I'm curious, though, do these fingerprint tests offer the same level of accuracy as traditional methods? How reliable are the results?
Absolutely. If anything, we're as accurate and in some cases more accurate than a lot of other tests out in the market. And what's unique with our product as well is a lot of products, for example, if you do a urine test, it can actually detect what's been in your system for the last 5 to 7 days. We have a very small window of detection. What that means is we only can tell what you've got in your system for the last 24 hours. Now, why is this important, Michael? Is because if you're taking a drug on the weekend, which you're allowed to, because a lot of places, drugs are legalized today, and on a Saturday, if you did that drug test with a urine sample, you would come back positive on a Monday morning, which means you could either be stood down, fired, or it's taken some action against you. Whereas our drug test, it will come back as a negative result, which means we are trying to detect if you're taking drugs in the last 24 hours, which is more relevant in terms of the industry that we're working.
So who are your biggest customers? Law enforcement agencies, drug clinics, corporates, all the above?
Michael, we've got a range of currently approximately 450 active companies that are actually using our technology. And this ranges from all kind of vertical industries, including mining, engineering, transportation, construction, anywhere where someone's either driving a car or a vehicle, operating heavy machinery, or flying a plane, for example. We do provide this to bus companies, for example, so they screen their employees before they take school children to school. Okay, which is very important. And the traditional drug testing, what they would do, they test the individual and then they'd start their shift or drive that bus. And then a couple of days later, they'd get the result. That defeats the purpose of providing a safe workplace.
All right, so one more question for you, Harry, before I bring Spiro into the conversation. Could you put a number on the size of your target market?
The size of the target market, well, globally, it's approximately a $4 billion market, and that's on the low side. But what we are seeing is the market is increasing. And why it's increasing is because more and more countries and places are allowing and are legalizing drugs. So as drugs become more and more legalized, more and more people are taking it. Thus, employees are actually testing more and more people to ensure that they're safe. So it's a $4 billion market. It's increasing and it's growing. And we've only just started selling. We approximately sell in about 20 different geographies and soon to be in the US.
All right, let's take a look at your company's stock now. It's trading towards the lower end of its 52-week range. Spiro, why should investors take a fresh look at it? Why is INBS a stock to watch?
So the reason is that, one, our fundamentals are sound, that we've got a product we've got the product, which we're penetrating new markets, and the size of the market. We're in the early stage of this growth, and as the market knows, we're on our way to FDA. So it's the timing. The timing couldn't be better.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. Look, what you do see is we are a company with a product, which is key. We are generating revenue. We've completed our proof of concept market, which was in the UK. We've got 450 active customers, which are businesses which is repeat business. It is a razor blade model, and we are trying to we will be into the US very shortly. We're expecting once we clear FDA. So it is a company of growth.
Fantastic. I mean, you are talking about the expansion. I know you've been running new campaigns across Asia and the Pacific. You've talked about UK being a core test market. I know you're also expanding into Europe, the Middle East, and beyond. Very exciting, this technology you guys have, this fingerprint drug testing. Thank you both for walking us through your business.
Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael.
We've been speaking with Intelligent Biosolutions, Hariel Simeonidis, and Spiro Sakiris. And you've been watching Global One Media's Stocks to Watch. I'm Michael Suardo.